Okay, Sean, can you tell me what you did yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday, me and Ava decided to clean the chicken coop out, so I made these compost bins and I set them up around the coop. And since we do the deep bedding system inside the coop, we put a lot of the bedding inside just to decompose and use in the garden later on.
Okay, so I know it's a little hard to hear when you have roosters crowing. So Sean took some wire fencing that we had and he set up these compost rings, and he took, when they were cleaning out the chicken coop yesterday, he took some of the deep litter that was in there, because during the winter we do the deep litter method where we just keep adding more clean bedding on top of the other bedding, and it sort of breaks down a bit. And so he set up these rings around the outside of the chicken coop so the chickens could come in here and kind of scratch around and continue to work at it. And then what are we going to do when they get a little bit further along?
Then we'll take the rings off, let them scratch what they can, then put it all back in the rings and continue the process.
Right. So once it gets full.
And what I might do is throw a little food in there to encourage them to scratch it. You know?
Okay. So can you let them out and show us what you're... So this is one of our chicken coops. We have a couple of chicken tractors with some of our girls too. So as the coops fill up, when it gets to the top, these will all be like separate compost bins, and he will just undo the ring and leave the compost there. They'll go and scratch around through it and get, continue to break it down a little bit more. They'll get any bugs that are in there. And then he'll make a new ring and put the compost back in it so that it kind of turns it and aerates it. And so one of our plans this year is to build or to make like a larger run around this chicken coop. So our chickens do all free range except for the ones that are in the chicken tractors. We might move them out in the field. We have a lot of foxes and predators around here, so we've lost, I'd say about 140 chickens over the course of 2 years to foxes and predators. And so right now we probably have, how many chickens do we have now? Probably 100 or so, like between the chicken tractors and these ones here. And so this will allow them to stay closer to the coop, and then having the compost rings in here, they will start to like break down compost all in this area around the coop, and we'll be able to use that in the garden that's like right there. So we'll be able to take compost from this area and use it in the garden. And then when we go to plant in our garden, or we're planting trees, or we're reseeding our pastures, or we're reseeding out here, the chickens won't be eating all of that seed during that time, but they'll still be living a good life. And then we'll let them out when we're in a less high predator season. So that's one of our plans this year, is just to kind of set up a different area for them to safely be. And because we have our guardian dogs now, hey Maisie, they do a very good job. We've had a lot less losses since the dogs have been here, but the grass gets pretty high around here, so they can only do so much. They do a great job of keeping all the predators away, and they're great with the chickens, but they they can't be everywhere all the time. And so the foxes are very, very smart. They will end up knowing when the dogs are patrolling a different area of the property, and they'll just come in and pick off a chicken, and they can do that. You know, they can pretty much decimate your flock if that's the case. So this should really fertilize this area, and they will just be our little composters. So this will be great for the garden. Anyhow, so I just came home yesterday and Sean had set this up. And it gives them some mental stimulation. It gives them something to keep them busy. And, you know, in the winter, there's not quite as much for them to do. So even though we're entering into spring, you know, it can be kind of, I don't know if boring is the right word, but thankfully we don't have a lot of issues with this. But if your chickens don't have a lot of mental stimulation, you can end up with issues where they're picking on each other, or you get some problems like that, and we want to make sure that that's not the case for our girls. You can see they're already kind of pecking around and turning things, and that's just naturally what they do, you know. So you see what your animals are just naturally good at and put them to work. Hi. That should allow us to reseed this area. We've tried to do it a few times, and well, the grass is really low now because of the time of year it is, but there's Gus sleeping up there. But the chickens would always eat a lot of the seed when they were out free ranging, and so this will give them a chance to still be out, be busy, and not getting into all of our seed. So that's it. Just a little update on the farm. You see what's working for you, and then tweak it and change it. If something's not working, just come up with a different plan. I love these ones. The laced patterns. Have a great day.